Hi, I'm Jeremy Poole, the creator of Recollector. I created the first version of Recollector over 15 years ago. I was a collector of antique maps and I wanted to catalog my collection. But when I went out there to see what products were available, what I found were products that were either too inflexible or way too elaborate and expensive. But being a software developer, I figured I could solve this problem myself, and so I developed Recollector. Today, thousands of collectors use Recollector for cataloging all kinds of collections. And they testify to the fact that Recollector is very flexible, very functional, and it's fun to use. So let me jump right in and show you some highlights of the program. For this demo, I'll be using my map collection, but there's nothing map-specific about Recollector. It can be easily adapted to any kind of collection. The program comes with a set of templates, get you started with a set of fields. You can add as many fields as you want for your collection. Let me show you the set of fields that I defined for my particular map collection. Notice that the fields have different types. There's fields that can be used for dates, there's fields that can be used for dimensions, there's fields that can be used for values, currency fields. You can have short text, you can have long text, and very importantly, you can have images. Recollector has no limit on the number of fields that you can define, nor does it have any limit on how long the text can be in any text field. Nor is there a limit on how many records you can add to a collection. Recollector collections with thousands of records are very commonly found. By the way, here I'm showing the PC version of Recollector, but the Mac version has all of the same capabilities. The program has three main views into looking at your data. First of all, you have what you see up here now, the list view. This view is very much like a spreadsheet. It's a tabular view, and you can sort it. So if I sort by date, I can reorder the records by date, or I can go back and in this case sort them by map maker. I can search for records based on content of any of the fields. I can change which fields are shown in this tabular view. I can change the order in which the fields are shown. I can change how wide the fields are. Basically, you have kind of full control as with a spreadsheet. This makes the list view a very good tool for navigating through your collection to find the items that you want to focus on. Next, you have the image gallery. As the name implies, this is an image-oriented view of your collection. And in this view, like the list view, it's great for navigation. But in this case, you'll be able to find items based on pictures of those items. Finally, you have the item details view. Here you can see all of the information for the items, for an item in your collection, both text and images. You can see from this example that text supports a number of features. For example, you can have text with different styles like italics or underline or bold. You can also have multi-line text, multi-paragraph text. You can have really as much text as you want in a single field. Also, you'll notice several blue underlined bits of text. These are hyperlinks, and there's a variety of kinds of hyperlinks that you can define. Here's one that brings up a footnote, basically, that describes a particular book that I cite in this entry. Down here is a hyperlink that will jump to a related record in the collection. So if I click on it, I'm taken to a different location. Down at the bottom, I have hyperlinks to web pages where I store fully zoomable versions of my collection on the web. So far, we've been looking at a collection that has already been cataloged. But how do you enter data into a collection to start with? Or how do you add new records when new items come into your collection? Recollector automatically creates an editing window for your collection. The editor can be further customized so that you can have, for example, fields which, instead of typing into, you can pick from a drop-down list. Like here, I can do with color in my collection or with map maker. I can get a list of common map makers that are in my collection and just fill in by clicking rather than by typing. There's a separate training video that describes all the ways that you can customize the editor window. And the same window is used when you're updating an existing record. So here's the editor, but already filled in with data for a particular record, and you can make updates or corrections as you want. Let me mention a few other features of the program. In addition to images, you can associate documents of almost any kind with items in your collection. It might be PDF files or Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, web pages, whatever. Each can be brought up with a single click from the item details. Here, for example, I have a video document that I created that I associated with one of the items in my collection. And by clicking on the link, up comes a video viewer that shows me the video related to this particular map in my collection. You can also create subsets, which lets you look at just a part of your overall collection. You can define as many subsets as you want. You can switch to them easily. And now I'm looking at a subset which, if I go back to the list view, I see just has 44 elements rather than the full 216 in the collection. You can create nicely formatted printed reports. Here's a report in PDF format that provides an excellent way to summarize an entire collection. This is very good if you want to share the collection with somebody else, or if you want to document your collection for insurance purposes. You can export collection data to Excel or to a text file. Here's an example of my map collection information that I exported into Excel. Similarly, you can import spreadsheet or text data or create a brand new collection from a spreadsheet. You can create as many collections as you want. So, for example, I have a second collection I can bring up here, and notice that each collection is shown in its own window, so you can have multiple collections active at once. Recollector has its own backup and restore facility, so you can back up your collections to make sure that they are safely backed up. You can store your collection data locally, or you can store it in the cloud. If you store it in the cloud, a collection can be shared by multiple users, and that can be particularly important for small museums or galleries that want to use Recollector for their collections, but who need to have access shared among a set of users. A companion app, the Recollector app, is available for mobile devices, iPhones, iPad, Android phones, and tablets. It's easy to sync your collection data from your PC or Mac to your mobile device and take your collection with you wherever you go. Let me quickly show you the Recollector app running on a smartphone. I've synced the data from several collections to the app. So in the app, I first choose the collection I want to open, then it opens up, starting as a list, showing a few selected data fields. And if you want, as I've chosen to do here, an image of the item. This list can be sorted, or I can search for a particular item in the list, or I can subset the list. It's similar to sorting, searching, and subsetting in the main Recollector program. Here I will just scroll to the same map that we were looking at in Recollector. Notice that the full item details are shown. All the text fields and all of the images being shown as thumbnails. And I can even click on a thumbnail in order to bring up a larger image into which I can zoom to see it at a higher resolution. Most of the hyperlinks that we saw in the main program are also available in the Recollector app. Here is the hyperlink that brings up a book citation, and here is a hyperlink that jumps me to a related record. So the Recollector app lets you take your full collection with you, for example, to a show or an auction, or maybe a meetup with fellow collectors. By the way, the Recollector app is a free download from Apple's App Store, or for the Android version from Google's Play Store. Finally, all these capabilities come at an extraordinarily affordable price. A Recollector license costs just $49, and that price has not changed in over 15 years. And it's a one-time charge. There's no annual subscription required. Your license entitles you to customer support and unlimited upgrades as new versions of the product are released. And if you have doubts, you can download Recollector and try it out for free. This demo mode has all the capabilities of the fully licensed product, except you're limited to a maximum of 25 records in a collection. This allows you to try it out at no cost and only purchase the license when you're convinced that the product is right for you. So, thank you for watching this introductory video, and I hope you will give Recollector a try for your own collection. Go to the website at the link shown above for more information or to download the demo version.